In the top stories, nationally, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drews says St. Kitts and Nevis stands in solidarity with Guyana following the ferry disaster. Regionally, Guyana's search for survivors continues as authorities fear more people were on the capsized ferry than declared. And on the international scene, Andy Burnham has replaced Keir Starmer as Britain's new Prime Minister. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Major Newscast. Today is Monday, 20th July, and I am Jasmine Thomas. First on the local scene, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drews has expressed deep sadness and solidarity following the tragic ferry disaster in Guyana over the weekend. The MV Barima capsized late Saturday off the coast of Guyana, triggering an extensive search and rescue operation. In a statement, Dr. Drews said the people and government of St. Kitts and Nevis stand in solidarity with the people of Guyana during this difficult time. He also extended his thoughts and prayers to the families of those still unaccounted for, as well as the first responders, continuing the search effort. Dr. Drews said that in times of tragedy, the Caribbean remains one family. Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources Samuel Duggins says encouraging more young people to enter the fisheries sector is key to securing its future. The minister made the comments while attending the closing ceremony for the Department of Marine Resources Junior Anglers Camp on last Friday. The camp gave young participants the opportunity to develop practical fishing skills, learn about marine conservation, and gain a better understanding of the importance of the fisheries sector to St. Christopher and Nevis. Minister Duggins congratulated the participants and thanked camp coordinator Deslyn Stevens and her team for their commitment to the program. He said introducing young people to the industry at an early age helps build the next generation of fishers while supporting the Federation's long-term food security. And major renovations are now underway at the Cardin home as the government moves to modernize one of the Federation's leading elder care facilities. The Ministry of Health says work officially began this morning. Established in 1927 as the infirmary, the Cardin home has provided care for the elderly and persons with special needs for nearly a century. Officials said the upgrades will modernize the facility, improve its infrastructure, and enhance the quality of care provided to residents. The ministry also thanked the staff, residents, and their families for their continued support as the project gets underway. On the regional scene, the search for survivors continued in Guyana today after the MV Barima capsized off the Essequibo coast late Saturday while traveling from Georgetown to Port Kaitoma. 2 bodies have so far been recovered, while 67 people have been rescued. However, officials now believe many more people were on board than officially recorded after discovering that at least 35 of those rescued were not listed on the passenger manifest. Prime Minister Mark Phillips said hopes of finding more survivors are fading as the government believes the ferry was carrying far more than 116 passengers and 17 crew members documented before it sailed. He said the investigation will examine the passenger manifest, cargo loading, safety procedures, and the actions of the captain and the crew before the vessel departed. The Prime Minister also revealed that the captain and at least 1 other crew member tested positive for marijuana and remain in police custody as the criminal investigation continues. The government has vowed that anyone found responsible for negligence or criminal wrongdoing will face the full force of the law. And the United States has imposed sanctions on Cuba's Ministry of Tourism as part of a broader crackdown on the island's government. The U.S. State Department said the ministry was targeted because it is a major source of revenue for the Cuban government. Washington announced the measure as part of a package of sanctions against the 10 Cuban entities it says support the country's economic structure and alleged repression of the Cuban people. The sanctions also target state-owned organizations involved in the energy, foreign trade, finance and maritime transport sectors, as well as several security and paramilitary groups. U.S. Security Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the measures are intended to limit the resources available to the Cuban government while pressing for political and economic reforms. Andy Burnham became Britain's new Prime Minister today after meeting with King Charles at Buckingham Palace, where the monarch invited him to form a new government. Burnham succeeds Keir Starmer, who stepped down after 2 years in office following a series of political missteps that weakened his support within the Labour Party and among the public. In his first address outside number 10 Downing Street, Burnham acknowledged the challenges of leading a country that has seen 7 prime ministers in just over a decade. He pledged to make politics more collaborative, reduce the concentration of power in London, and end street homelessness as part of a broader plan to reform public services and improve the cost of living. The new Prime Minister will announce his first cabinet appointments today before outlining part of his 10-year strategic plan on Tuesday. And health officials in the Democratic Republic of Congo are reporting a devastating surge in the ongoing Ebola outbreak. The country's Ministry of Health confirmed Monday that the death toll has risen to at least 930, with 37 deaths reported in a single 24-hour span. Officials say more than 2,300 cases have been confirmed since the outbreak was declared on May 15th, making it the fastest growing Ebola outbreak on record. The surge is triggered by the Bundibugyo strain, a rare and highly contagious virus for which there is currently no approved vaccine or treatment. Containment efforts remain crippled in the eastern Ituri province due to rampant rebel violence, armed attacks on health facilities, and ongoing pay protests recently staged by medical workers. The World Health Organization is warning that 80% of new cases are emerging from unknown chains of transmission, spreading faster than health teams can track. We now take a look at today's weather. Dry, stable, and hazy conditions will continue across the Federation through today and the early part of tonight, limiting shower activity. However, a weak trough moving into the area could bring a greater chance of showers after midnight. Today's high will reach 33 degrees Celsius or 91 degrees Fahrenheit, while the overnight low will be 25 degrees Celsius or 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Today will be partly sunny and hazy, with a 20% or slight chance of a brief light shower. Tonight will be fair to partly cloudy at first, with a 60% or moderate chance of brief passing showers, mainly after midnight. Winds will be at east-northeast at 11 to 30 kilometers per hour or 7 to 18 miles per hour, with lighter spells overnight. Seas will range from 1 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. Sunrise tomorrow is expected to be at around 5:47 and sunset will be at around 6:48. That brings us to the end of the Midday Major Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jasmine Thomas. God bless you.